Here's Danny, and today with a pretty long video for once. Some of you might know that I like to make maps and complain about original designs and talk about why I think some maps wouldn't work. Some of you might be familiar with my TDM Canals Remake in Far Cry 5 or my more original work like the WW2 rendition of D-Day, and a video on why I personally think a realistic D-Day wouldn't work in Battlefield 5. But I also make more. Most of it is done in the Far Cry editor, mostly because it has an impressive library of assets. However, I do fabble around a bit in Unreal Engine 4 with a mix of Battalion 1944 and Battlefield 5 stuff. So enjoy my showcase video thing of the maps that I have made in my free time and never really have done anything with. Let's start off with my oldest and most well known one and then go chronologically in order through the maps. My oldest map is of course No-shart Canals TDM, but with a spin. This version is a single player conversion obviously, but it would also work as a multiplayer map. Too bad the multiplayer for Far Cry is completely dead, but anyway, we start off in the area near the train tracks. It is all a bit overgrown and a fence has been pushed over. Maybe by the hat wearing pig? I got no idea. We move towards the power area. In Battlefield 3 this area was practically empty, but I never really liked that. On to the next obvious big change. It's a loading platform. I always felt this area was a little bit too empty as well, so I made this thing. I sadly don't have any curved tracks, so it looks a little bit more messy than I have hoped. Of course there are the famous sniper trains, and while they are a little bit higher, you can still just as easily head glitch over them like in Battlefield 3 due to the sandbags that I placed. In general, everything is a little bit bigger than in Battlefield 3 due to the size of the assets. However, unlike BF4's remake, I did honor the gameplay of everything. Here is the famous waterside with the loading barges, but I did add some extra cover and some fun parkour areas. If we walk back, you can see that this area is fully honored from destructible fences to a head glitch dumpster. We got the classic shotgun containers here in its original layout, although it is a little bit bigger in some cases, but that is all fixed in its own way. I did change up some sidelines, which also would give more safe spawns. I did tune this area a little bit for the single player with a gun pickup. For the rest, this area is as campy as ever, including that little line of sight from the middle of those crates. You gotta think about the little details. I added another section of containers here, playing around with fallen containers, which was something I thought to be fun. Then we go to the other waterside, which features a lot more cover. I always felt it was an easy spawn trap in BF3, so I fixed that. It should be way more safer to move around. We got this funky garage, which I had to build myself with straight pieces, which is why it looks kinda ugly. Then there is this little parking lot to add some more cover and sneaky peeks. But for the rest, the backside is pretty much the same, outside of a few boxes to compensate for the general bigger size. Also there is a toilet. And to end this map off, there is of course a camper on the tower. But that is it for this map. For the second map that I made, it is inspired by a scrapped map from Battlefield Hardline that was set on Fort Jefferson. We got an island named Fort Ruby, where you start off at the docks and have to move over to the island in order to murder everyone. Usually I'd like to snipe the lady who is standing here on the boat, and from there move my way through the main gate. Of course you can go around it as well. This one actually got made far before other things got added like boundary boxes to block off stuff. I will quickly murder everyone in this area and move through the gate. I like to keep on moving, and I do like this drive safely sign together with the 2 crashed cars. We will skip the camp area ahead of us for now and go into the fort. It was initially more of an open-ended place, but it gave issues with the spawner and the logic of that, so I have to redo the AI with the new settings. So I blocked the door on the left, but I added a C4 pickup on the side in order to let the player go through when they have reached that area. You get funneled onto some stairs where you quickly have to take out 2 cards in order to move through the cafe. We shoot some more guys who were just getting ready for dinner, check all the rooms like the office and the barracks next to it. We keep on moving through the hallways, where I should really fix the lighting someday. And then we shoot some guys in the communications area. We go through the doors and down the stairs. We murder everyone in the vicinity and go under this gate that is being held up by some metal. You can see the little flashes coming from the iron. There are some guys training out here which should point you towards the next area. And I really wished the game had a more versatile level editor in that way, where it would funnel you easier to a point. Kill all the guys that are inside and check out the place where they have dumped all the stolen art and the war room. From there, backtrack a little bit towards the exit in the back with the bridge. And there should be more enemies to fight. Basically, the fort is made into a museum / vacation paradise for schools. So there is of course a normal camping area. Too bad the Peggies had the idea that a fort might be a strategic place to hold out and train their soldiers. Follow this path towards the pool and the bunkers. From there, the new enemies should have spawned, and once you kill them, the level is over. I also have made an underwater bunker in the back of the map, where you can take a nicely placed jet ski to the bunker and then dive down to find the secret. Time to go to the 3rd map set in Egypt, made the day after the Assassin's Creed Origins assets got added to the game. We start off on the Big Pyramid, which gives you multiple ways to move. Most people of course go down with the zipline. We can be sneaky from the main road and go through the main temple entrance, or we can go via the right side, either of the broken points, or via the ladder on the left side, which brings you to the pool, which is the entrance that I take right now. The story of the map is that the Peggies have taken over an old Egyptian village and you have to take out their leaders. The main entrance has a target. Also, a fun fact. The painting in here is from Amsterdam and it is the Haringpakkerstoren, which sadly got demolished in 1829. Totally random to find it in the game, but it's also fun that I instantly recognized Amsterdam, even though I have never heard of the tower itself. Anyway, you have to make your way through the village, where you can take the high ground or stay on the road and move towards the center area. Just casually murder everyone in the middle of the village. Don't even think about the paperwork. Here is a building that houses the second target. This was actually the first area that I built. From there you can move over to the side, grapple on top of one of the buildings, from where you can zipline onto another tower that houses the target. Of course, there's multiple ways to get on there, or to shoot the target if you want. Then you have to jump down and go to the last target, which is over here at the massive Peggy flag. All you have to do then is to parkour over the buildings and make your way to the escape truck. There is of course more ways to move through the level, but this is probably the most common one. And for my next and last Far Cry 5 map, we got this little desert town with a zoo full of wild animals. But weird stuff has happened and now a small army has taken over, while some locals are still around. You start off at the bus stop and make your way through the little bit of carnage that there is in front of you. On the left side you can see a factory glowing red. What could that be? You shoot the first guy at the buses and the entrance and keep on walking. There is people at both sides, in the parking lot and at the white building, but you quickly dispose of all four. A big sign welcomes you to the Fang Center, the centerpiece of the map, of which the entrance is on the other side. You walk past the side and see a big dome evil research lab thing, and decide to walk towards it. You shoot 2 other rednecks on their porch and see 2 other dudes, and of course you shoot them without asking questions. However, you have noticed that the shots have awoken 2 other people in the building next to you, so you go to their houses without knocking and shoot them down. You see a house that was on fire and a smaller building with a door that you can open and 2 flamingos. Of course you decide to check it out for a second, while also destroying the evil flamingos, because that would really spread the good word of Modest Pelican's channel. There is multiple dead bodies and a zombie. You of course kill the zombie and keep on thinking what happened to it. You see a torture chair and blood on the walls and the floor. Some weird shit has happened here, but you just keep going. Finally there's the entrance of the Fang Center, being held open by a chair. Classic. You start off murdering everyone, because you have all the time and enough bullets anyway. But after that you decide that it is time to check on the wolves. You see a guy standing on top of one of the cages. He is fearing for his life, but of course instead of helping him, you pop a bullet in his brain to finish the map. And as last, a map I made for Battalion 1944. I have to give a full disclosure that I started off with building from the A map, so I reused the lighting and the spawn settings from there. But I did completely make it my own, including adding assets that I ripped from Battlefield 5. Since I don't like making models, I just like placing them. My map was intended for a 5v5 game mode. One team starts in the little area in the back. From there you can go straight ahead to the terrace on the left. I made it so you can't directly look into the enemy spawn, but just like on Dust 2, you can get that cheeky, perfectly timed snipe. It is a classic 3-lane map, but with a big park in the middle of the map that also houses the bomb. But of course I did add some twists. For example, you can't just walk around the park on the right side. No, you have to go through the little house around the truck. Or find a way to jump over it, but I'm not sure if that might be the best way of doing stuff during a match. And I do think it can give some fun fights with some fun but fair sidelines and connectors. For some reason, however, I haven't managed to actually publish the map on Steam yet, else I would urge you to try it out if you got the game. But hey, that is all I got for today. All Far Cry maps should be available in game, just search for DANNYonPC. Anyway, this was Danny, and I see you on the battlefield.